It was yet another terrifying night for the capital. Drones and missiles terrorized Kyiv for almost 10 hours straight. Civilians were once again under attack. It is known that 2 people were killed, an infant and a 32-year-old woman. They lived in the most heavily damaged apartment building in the Svyatoshynsky district. Civilian buildings were also damaged in the Darnytskyi and Holosiivskyi districts. Last night in the capital, many people were wounded. Some are now in the hospital, including a pregnant woman. She underwent an emergency delivery. For the first time since the start of the full-scale war, a government building was damaged by missile strikes. A fire broke out there, covering 800 square meters. It has already been extinguished. TSN correspondent Olena Matsyutska visited the sites of enemy strikes in the capital.
Judging by the damaged structures and traces of fire, eyewitnesses say it was a direct hit by a Shahed drone. The building was literally pierced through. This happened at around 3 in the morning. After the strike, the section from the 4th to the 8th floor was partially destroyed. A fire broke out. The moment of the explosion was captured by a surveillance camera from the building across the street. Many people from this damaged building were able to evacuate on their own.
Can't you hear? No!
What should I build?
It's impossible to endure this. Simply impossible.
I heard the sound of that Shahed and it hit right at home. I live on the 2nd floor a bit to the left and below where it actually hit, well, the impact site, and it was a bit scary.
Oleksiy lives across the street. He got alert after hearing the first drone, and then there was an explosion in his yard.
I go out onto the balcony to look and everything is already just on fire. These floors tragically start to catch fire, slowly crumble into dust, and it's truly incredibly hard to watch this devastating scene unfold before your very eyes.
2 bodies have been found, a woman and an infant. Rescuers immediately began searching for those who might be trapped under the rubble.
According to our information, there may still be people, so we will continue working until we are certain that there is absolutely no one left under the debris.
17 apartments have been completely destroyed and dozens more need repairs. All emergency services were working at the scene throughout the night, and the police were taking statements from the victims. Windows were blown out and balconies damaged in neighboring buildings. In various districts of Kyiv, there are 11 locations where destruction has been recorded.
Requests for assistance are being submitted through city programs and the e-recovery platform. In total, 4 districts were affected, with Svyatoshynsky and Darnytskyi suffering the most, of course. In the Holosiivskyi district, a large number of windows were shattered.
It was a difficult Sunday night for the capital. Here is also a video from the Svyatoshynsky district, where a fire broke out on the upper floors of a residential building due to the enemy attack. Rescuers were working at different locations even as missiles were flying toward the capital. The city was shrouded in black smoke, and the state emergency service also extinguished fires in glass facilities. Aviation was also involved in extinguishing the fires. Helicopters drew water from the nearest bodies of water and kept returning to the fire sites again and again. Debris also damaged a building in Darnytskyi. A fire broke out. This is what the building looks like. There is partial destruction of 2 floors here. A wall has been blown out and there are problems with the ceilings. The neighboring apartments were also affected. At least 2 people were injured here. Smoke also reached the city center. Later, rescuers confirmed that the Cabinet of Ministers building was damaged. The fire was brought under control, and Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko showed the damage both outside and inside.
And it all looks as though Russia is neither ready nor willing for peace, nor prepared for negotiations. That is why I have an appeal to our partners. Help us close the sky. Let's strengthen the sanctions against Russia.
The head of government also added that the world must respond to attacks on Ukraine's civilian population by supplying weapons. This should stop Russian terror. Olena Matsyutska, SN11.
7 horses died in Kyiv as a result of the Russian night attack. The martyrs attacked the horse club at around 3 in the morning. 3 attack drones, one after the other, flew over the territory where the animals spent the night. These were Geran-type drones, the owner of the stables, Yulia Tolpiha, told TSN. According to her, because of the heat, the horses were left outside overnight so they could get some fresh air. 7 animals died on the spot as a result of the attack. These were elite breed sport horses. They had repeatedly participated in national and international competitions. One of the horses that died had just recently won a prize, the club owner says. In total, out of 9 horses, only 2 survived after the attack. At the time of the strike, there were also stable workers in the club, but the people survived. Miraculously, the 3 dogs guarding the horses in the yard also survived.
Debris, nails, pieces of Shahed drones, traces of the impact. There were many horses here that had been with me for many years. I'm sorry.
Last night, Ukraine endured a massive Russian attack. It was a combined enemy strike using drones and missiles. More than 800 drones were launched from Russia and temporarily occupied Crimea. Our air defense forces shot down or suppressed 747 Shaheds and decoy drones. 4 Kh-101 cruise missiles were also shot down. At the same time, 9 Russian missiles and 54 attack drones struck at 33 locations. In 8 of them, crashes were recorded in Kyiv. 17 people were injured and 4 had to be hospitalized. These are the consequences of the attacks on Zaporizhia. The day before, around 7 in the evening, the Russians attacked the regional center with 7 Shahed drones, hitting apartment buildings, private homes, a kindergarten, and a business. 2 people were killed and 5 injured in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The enemy struck the regional center with Shahed drones, causing fires to break out there. The occupiers hit Kryvyi Rih with missiles and drones, damaging transport infrastructure and about a dozen apartment buildings. During repeated ballistic strikes, 4 civilians were injured. In Sumy region, 1 person was killed and 8 more were injured. In the Putilivska community, a Russian drone attacked a tent camp of vacationers. A 51-year-old woman died before the medics arrived. 7 people, including an 8-year-old boy, were injured. In the Krasnopil community, an enemy drone hit a car. A man was injured, and in the afternoon, the enemy struck the Sumy Regional Administration building with a drone. 4 people were injured, one of whom had an acute stress reaction. In Kherson, they have already questioned the pensioner who was injured in the shelling in the city center. 2 more people were wounded in Bilozerka in the Dnipro district of Kherson. Today, people were forbidden to go outside because of anti-personnel mines scattered by the enemy. The occupiers are mining the city remotely. 2 people were killed by the Russians in Donetsk region, and another 11 were reported wounded. Most of the victims are from Kostiantynivka. There, about a dozen apartment buildings, 38 private houses, 2 shops, and a post office were damaged. An enemy FPV drone also struck a civilian car near Slovyansk. A female passenger was killed and another 5 women were wounded. 2 people were killed and 3 wounded as a result of Russian shelling in Chernihiv region. Over the past day, the occupiers shelled the region more than 40 times. 3 people were injured as a result of a massive attack in Odesa region. By morning, the enemy had launched about 15 attack drones at the regional center alone. They targeted energy infrastructure and railway junctions. However, thanks to the work of air defense, most of the drones were destroyed in the sky. Some managed to break through and hit residential apartment buildings. It was only because people went down to the shelters that mass casualties were avoided. Serhiy Sachuk will tell you more about the enemy's morning attack.
Around 4 in the morning, a swarm of Shaheds descended on the city from 3 directions at once. Most of them attacked from the sea and approached at high altitudes to complicate the work of air defense. And the main strike hit the Primorsky district. In this building, not a single window is intact, and in one apartment, there's a hole in the wall. A Shahed crashed and exploded right in the children's room. The resident of the apartment tells how she and her 14-year-old son managed to avoid death.
I woke up, went to wake up my child, told him maybe we should go downstairs because it was very loud and sometimes he doesn't always agree to go down. This time though, he calmly got dressed. I kept saying, come on, faster. So we went down 2 at a time, and about 10 minutes later, I think, the explosion happened. Then they said it was on our floor and that there was a fire there, so we went upstairs and a neighbor gave me a fire extinguisher. And I tried to do something there. But there was so much dust, everything was buried. There was nothing left at all if you look.
In the courtyard, many apartment buildings are damaged and residents are gathering. People need to repair their windows and doors. It's getting cooler in the courtyard. Utility workers have also arrived here to quickly clean up the debris that's scattered all over the road.
We are now holding meetings with the residents, setting up emergency response headquarters and bringing in equipment. The main task for today is to seal up people's windows and doorways as much as possible and to process documents for financial assistance through the City Council. There is the Unbreakable Village program, which helps with all of this and does so quite quickly.
Medical personnel provided assistance to the affected people and then released them to go home. After the morning shelling, many people needed psychological support. This was reported by the State Emergency Service.
The work of the State Emergency Service units was complicated by repeated air raid alerts, which forced our rescuers to take shelter.
And this is what the Odesa Sports Palace looks like today. It was attacked by 4 strike drones at once. The explosion destroyed the ice rink, which was being prepared for hockey competitions. The cooling system was completely burned out. The machine that creates the ice surface was also destroyed by fire. Residents of the neighboring building are left without windows and are rescuing stray animals.
He was very frightened because he lives behind the building and the strike happened nearby. He has nowhere to go. The place where he was sitting was also hit by debris from the building. There were 4 impacts, all very close together.
Another Shahed drone struck the upper floors of a neighboring new building, causing destruction inside as well. The management of the sports arena says that the most important thing is that everyone is safe and that repairs will be carried out very quickly. They already have experience with a similar attack that happened 2 years ago. Serhiy Osachuk, Serhiy Holenyuk, Odesa, TSN 1+1.
Due to the overnight Russian attack on Ukraine, Poland scrambled its fighter jets. Ground-based air defense and radar systems were put on the highest alert. It is also noted that Dutch F-35s helped protect Polish airspace. This was stated in a statement by the Operational Command of the Armed Forces of the Republic. Overall, the international response to Russia's overnight attack using a record number of drones was quite tough. Czech Foreign Minister Jan Lipavsky called Putin a coward who attacks women and children and emphasized that those now calling for an end to aid to Ukraine are siding with the aggressor. The fact that the Kremlin wants to prolong the war was also noted by the president of Latvia. In a post on X, he noted that NATO countries must increase the supply of weapons to our country. The Latvian Prime Minister pointed out that for the first time a government building in Kyiv was attacked and wrote that Russia must be stopped. However, it was Ms. Katarina Maternova, the EU ambassador to Ukraine, who emphasized in her post that Russia's brazen terror must be stopped. President Zelensky received words of support from his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron during a phone conversation. The head of the Ukrainian state emphasized that together with France, they are currently working on new measures to strengthen our defense. In your opinion, what will be the reaction of the leader of the United States, Donald Trump? Be sure to write your thoughts in the comments to this broadcast on YouTube. Of course, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Meanwhile, I will continue with the TSN broadcast.